Raise your hand if you've ever been a child before. Raise your hand if you've ever been a parent. Raise your hand if you've ever been an area director. All right. That pretty much takes care of everyone inside of this room. Now, the reason why I asked you that question is, did you realize that at some point each of you were either a mentor or a protege? Now, a protege is a person who works with the mentor and tries to learn from them a new set of skills. You have different types of mentors. You have teachers, definitely. You have coaches, but they only mentor somebody on just one particular skill. Then you have the standard mentors that teach people multiple skills over a long period of time. Now, myself, I've been blessed to have a huge number of mentors in my life. I had my mother, my grandmother, say my parents, if you will. I had my pastor who tried to teach me how to learn how to farm, how to hunt. Well, I can't say I know how to hunt, but I do know how to eat. So somehow or another, that kind of worked out pretty good. In 10th grade, I went to Lower Vista High School. I met Mr. Olson. He taught me my computer classes. He was a very good person. I consider him a mentor because he taught me the concept of if you ever get asked a particular question on an interview about can you do it, even though you know you can't do it, say yes, I can learn it. So at least you give a positive answer and you're not lying. You're just telling them I don't do it now, but I can learn it. So that was a great thing that I learned from him throughout the few years I was allowed to work with him. In the 11th grade, there was Mr. Woodard. Now he was a very interesting person because he taught me about farming also. Now he was very instrumental to me because the summer before I had to start applying for college, I was able to earn the money to actually apply for things. And then a final mentor I'd like to mention would be Molly Harner. Now she was a programmer at NCR EMC in Columbia, for which I had worked for 3 summers as a summer intern. Now she was a very special person to me because when I first started off as an intern there, she took me to learn as much as I could and ask questions if I didn't know what to do. So throughout all of my life, that's what I did. If I didn't know something, either I'd be real quiet and somebody come help me, or I have to explicitly go to someone and ask for help. And think about the concept of my mentors. I call my poor mentors because for 2 reasons. One thing, I'm becoming an interesting person to mentor. The idea is that to be a good person to be mentored by someone, you have to be adaptable, you have to be willing to listen, you have to be willing to change. Now, for the most part, I'm pretty much that way, except when I'm hard headed, so it takes me a while to listen. Sometimes my mind goes off in a different direction, so I may not hear what you say to me. Or I hear it, but it just may not resonate with me until a few weeks later. Unfortunately, that makes you a bad protege. But if I work with you for years, eventually the stuff they try to teach me sinks in my mind and I catch on to it. But then there's a different meaning for poor also. Instead of like talking about poor or not having money, think about poor of passing over opportunities regularly. A mentor will point out to you opportunities in life to do better for yourself or how to change your situation. You may be happy where you are. I grew up as a poor person and I was happy. Didn't have any money, but I had my family. Many people can't say that. That's something that's worth a line in its own. Got a pocket full of that, but you're still happy. Kind of a paradox. But if you have like your teachers, they tell you something very interesting. You can still be happy, but you need to get your education and you can do more and help your family out instead of just enjoying life. And I took that message to heart. With my pastor, he let me work on his farms in the summertime, out in the hot sun picking peas or corn, whatever you grew in the field. He even offered me to let me use some of his land to actually plow it with my own crops on it. I didn't do too much of that because he taught me how to drive a car, but didn't teach me how to drive a tractor. So that kind of put a kind of bias, if you will, on farming. Also, I learned that I didn't like working out in the heat. Now, Mr. Woodard, he gave me some good advice. He said, hey, you want to go to college, you don't have money, whatever you get a scholarship for, major in that. All right, that sounds like some fantastic advice. So then comes Mr. Olson. He gave me an application in the 11th grade to pre-apply to Clemson. Sent it in, got pre-approved to go for computer science, the stuff that I actually love. Great. I didn't get a scholarship in it, so that makes life kind of interesting. But then I got a scholarship for study engineering. So you know what that means? Following Mr. Woodard's advice, you better go for engineering because that's what you got money for. If they gave me a scholarship in farming, guess what? Oh, I would have went to Clemson, a land grad school for farming or agriculture engineering or something, whatever would have paid the bills for me. And finally, there was like Molly Harner. The reason why I was able to be her summer intern was that I applied for a scholarship at NCR. They looked at the scholarships I already had, and if I chose to go to Clemson, I had enough money that I could pay for tuition and actually attend with oh, oh,
About 15 minutes. When do you want me to bring him back?
oh maybe in 3 minutes.
About 15 minutes.
15 minutes? Okay. Can I take the other ones then?
No, we're videotaping this. Can you wait? We'll
Okay.
let you
Okay, because I gotta go too.
After he's done, we'll let you in. Okay?
Okay, I'll come back in 10 minutes.
Let's see. Yeah. But with respect to the scholarship, the advice that mentor taught me is that I love computer science. So instead of going for computer engineering, I went for electrical. The scholarship be included. I still get to do what I love, and I can still get a job when I get out. Eventually, I graduated by following the advice they gave to me over time. And for the last 20 years, I've been actually working using what I learned in school. So hopefully, when I get older, I can share that same advice with my younger family members. Right now, I have one niece who actually went to college and graduated graduate school. She took some of my advice, and she didn't take all of it, but maybe that's a good thing because she actually finished graduate school. I went to graduate school but didn't finish it, so that means I didn't follow my mentor's advice for it. So, to be a good mentor, you need to be willing to listen to what your mentee wants, but the protege himself needs to listen, take into account what your mentor is telling them, and actually follow through with what the mentor is trying to share with you. Because doing it for the long haul with you, and that's the thing, you can't instantly change, but you can change over time and potentially make your situations different. And if I could do that with my younger family members and help them get out of wherever their situation is, great. If I have children someday, it's possible. But if I do, I'll try to do the same thing for them. Mr. Toastmaster. Well, thank you.